Hello everyone and welcome to News Tonight. I'm Rhoda Ngonzi. Wycliffe Bukenya will join us in a bit. Let's dig into it. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is irked by the media for observed concentration on what the industry apparently should not. The latest lash is highly hinged on the recent experienced acrimony caused by sections opposed to the amendment of the Constitution. Museveni alluded to the issue in a live televised end-of-year message from his home in Rajtura, Chiruhura district.
On the issue of political integration in Africa, for our survival as a free people, not even a whisper. I've been here for 30 years. I have never seen a talk show or this where you find people who don't know what they are talking about on the TV, talking about the political integration of Africa.
Although deliberations and squabbles about contentious amendment to the Constitution have come to a silence, the President has laid the last word on the subject as the year 2017 came to a close. It suffices to say that the President upholds the position of Parliament, which awaits a pending of his signature to past amendments to form part of the laws of Uganda.
They spend so much time on term limits, age limits, even educational qualifications. These are the issues they spend time on. Peripheral issues, they don't spend time on the core issue. Power belongs to the people, and they're the ones who should decide how they should be governed.
But the concentration of the media, the clergy and the academia on the subject, now termed non-core issue, is weird for the President.
Some of those elements, the 5 strategic goals of our elders who fought for independence, do not exist. What apparently matters to them is political power for the political groups they fancy. Instead of working for the independence of Africa, they are always in cahoots with foreigners, encouraging the latter to meddle in our internal affairs.
Not even the only state-run newspaper is spared in the latest bashing.
Mr. Kabushenga, using the platform given to him by the government, specializes in writing trivialities. That young son of mine is always writing trivialities. And so are these other media houses. They're always on trivialities. The Monitor paper is always working for non-African interests. Talk show is Agar Fufu, is Agar Mfufu, is the one who had accident, the one who no talk about our destiny, our future, our survival, our prosperity, no.
The appeal is for the media to revert to the role of informing, educating and entertaining, which in itself has a thin line.
Yes, they can talk about sports clubs, foreign cultures, gambling, but let them also talk about the strategic goals of Africa, independence, democracy, economic integration for prosperity, political integration for strategic security and preserving our identity as Africans. It is both their moral and legal duty to do so.
Onyango Jackson, reporting for UPC TV.
Meanwhile, President Yoweri Museveni has urged Ugandans in particular and the people of Africa in general to work towards fulfilling and achieving the vision and mission of independence freedom fighters. He said that the aims of the freedom fighters embedded in securing the independence of the continent in order to get it onto the democratic path, ensuring economic and political integration of Africa and its economic prosperity and strategic security, as well as safeguarding the African culture and heritage. In his New Year 2018 message to the nation last evening, it was relayed live from his country home in Rajtura by media houses. in the country. President Museveni said that Ugandans who have their nation at heart should cherish and support the fast tracking of East African Community (EAC) and the region's political integration, as well as the integration of the African continent, and vowing that he and other Pan-Africanists will never give up. Also, the president hailed the parish priest of Rubindi Catholic Church in Kashari North, Mbarara District, Reverend Father Felix Bikwatsizehi, for being a foresighted religious leader whose preaching and actions are in line with those of Jesus Christ, the founder of Christianity. The president therefore urged other religious leaders to emulate the example set by Father Bikwatsizehi. Mr. Museveni made the remarks today at Rubindi Catholic Parish Church in Rubindi Town Council along the Mbarara-Ibanda Road, where he, together with his wife, Mrs. Janet Museveni, and members of their family attended prayers to mark the beginning of the year 2018. Speaking after listening to a report by Father Bikwatsizehi, which emphasized fighting household poverty by generating income by believers, spiritual nourishment, religious tolerance, promotion of health and education in the area, the president noted that the work and actions of the father and the leadership of Rubindi Catholic Parish works are in line with the true preaching of Jesus Christ.
17 MPs who defied intimidation, malignment, and blackmail and opted for a flexible constitution to deal with the destiny issues of Africa instead of maintaining Uganda on the path of unimaginative, non-ideological, neo-colonial status quo. By so doing, they enabled us to avoid the more complicated path that would have been required. We cannot connoisseur, or connoisseur is a Bantu word meaning undercooking or badly cooking, the destiny of Africa. The 317 MPs have played a crucial role at this historical junction, Masanganzira, just like the 28 cadres of Montepuez, Mozambique, played in the formation of the Fulanosa Army, the 43 fighters with 27 rifles played when we attacked Kabamba, and the 232 MPs of the 7th Parliament played in opening up the term limits that have enabled Uganda to cover more ground. Those liars who talk about life presidency of Museveni should be exposed for what they are. They are either uninformed individuals talking about things they do not know, or evil schemers who do not want Uganda and Africa to succeed. One challenge was crime, where our young women were targeted by criminals. A total of 23 young women were killed. These murderers were taking advantage of a gap in our security infrastructure in the form of absence of cameras in the towns and along the highways, and also inadequate forensic equipment tracing criminals through blood samples or fingerprints. Nevertheless, using the old police methods of following clues, relying on eyewitnesses, etc., the suspects in the 4 areas, those are the areas of Nansana, Kawempe, Entebbe, and Wakiso-Bulago, of the killings were arrested and are being prosecuted. Meanwhile, we have been working systematically to resolve the issue of the artificial eyes in the cities, towns, and highways, and of improved forensic systems. This new year will see us close those gaps forever. There are areas of strong performance, like the results of immunization alluded to above. The same exemplary performance can be seen in controlling dangerous epidemics like Ebola and Marburg. The recent Marburg outbreak in Sebei was promptly brought under control. Earlier on 3 or so occasions, the dangerous Ebola epidemic was brought under control promptly. You all heard the huge damage that disease caused to sister countries in West Africa. You heard how Ebola caused a lot of damage to West African countries. But here, Ebola comes in no time, we are able to control it. It is therefore commendable that the medical services in Uganda are right on the mark when it comes to these dangerous epidemics.
The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, His Grace Stanley Ntagali, has called upon Ugandans to preach the gospel of salvation in order to protect the country from mayhem. Archbishop Ntagali was the main speaker at Namirembe Diocese in New Year prayers that were led by the diocesan bishop, Right Reverend Wilberforce Chitio Luwarida. The prayers were under the theme, Behold, I am making all things new. Other speakers included Reverend Canon Captain Titus Baraka and Venerable Justice Oronkwako from Nigeria.
Era katonda kyaffe ayisa byonna tutuusiza mu mwaka guno kkiriza okusiima kwaffe n'okwebaza kwaffe era twagala okwewaayo buli kinnamu kufaabira saddaaka ennamola okuweereza mutukuvu ne mutuukirivu.
It was a joyful moment as believers entered the new year with praise, worship and prayer. In his sermon at Namirembe Diocesan Gardens, the Archbishop of the Anglican Church, His Grace Stanley Ntagali, called on evangelists to preach the gospel of salvation.
It is faith that will save us. Faith will save us from eternal condemnation. So let us continue preaching. I encourage the saints, faithful men and women of God, preachers of the gospel of the kingdom, to intensify preaching of the gospel. Let us avoid preaching politics. We preach the gospel that saves, the gospel that liberates. The gospel that liberates, gospel that reconciles men and women, the gospel that determines our eternal destiny.
The Bishop of Namirembe Diocese, Right Reverend Wilberforce Chitio Luwarida, called on the believers to enter the new year with faith.
As the time comes near, think about these things. To think of it today. To know it today that you are God. He is crossing over, leading you across. As we usually sing that whilst I walk, Jesus leads me. How can I doubt when He is leading me daily? He is the one leading us to enter 2018. He says that like a devouring fire.
Other speakers included Reverend Canon Captain Titus Baraka and Venerable Justice Okoronkwo from Nigeria.
Open our eyes, Lord. Open the eyes of the people who are here right now, that their eyes will be able to see the new thing you are making in Uganda. Lord, open our eyes in our families.
Anytime God wants to encourage His children so that they can trust Him, He will say, I am Adonai, your Elohim. I am the Lord.
Bishop Luwarida also handed over a land title to the winner of the Bible competition that was organized by the Namirembe Mission Department in liaison with Ndeje University. Beatrice Nanziri for UBC News.
And presiding apostle of born-again faith, Dr. Joseph Serwadda, has asked government and parliament to ensure in the next national budget of 2018-19 that agriculture is allocated 10%. Serwadda argued that since over 80% of Ugandans depend on agriculture, elimination of poverty in Uganda necessitates that government injects more resources in the sector. Serwadda alluded to this during the 16th Passover prayers at Nelson Mandela National Stadium, Nambole, where hundreds of Christians congregated to usher in 2018.
Thousands of Christians thronged Mandela National Stadium at Nambole to usher in the new year 2018. Praise and worship was the order of the night as the mammoth congregation, majorly made up of Christians, awaited 2018. Different preachers from within and abroad fed the gospel to the hungry Christians, prophesying good things to happen in 2018.
Ezekiel, here is my faith. I have plans for the people in this graveyard. I want you to open your mouth.
It was not only preaching that kept these people on their tiptoes, but various performances by Ugandan gospel artists such as Pastor Wilson Bugembe, among others. Bugembe performed his Nangirira hit song, Before Midnight, a song that prophesies a good new year. The Passover Prayer Festival conveners, Dr. Joseph Serwadda and Pastor Frida Serwadda, encouraged Christians to reject bad behaviors in this new year of 2018.
History is going to be saved. Every door that was blocked for you is going to open wide.
The born-again faith presiding apostle, Dr. Joseph Serwadda, used this occasion to ask government and parliament to ensure that agriculture is allocated 10% in the next national budget of 2018 to 2019.
The governments of Africa committed themselves to set aside 10% of every budget to cater for agriculture. Uganda has not done that at all. We continue to see agriculture go down because they have maintained 3% for many, many years. We need this government to make its commitment of 10%. That declaration should be put to work. Let agriculture have its 10%, and then we will commit our ministers and all the officers in the agricultural department to see that Uganda becomes a food basket.
The presiding apostle urged that if the Hakuna Mchezo promise had been implemented to the letter, corruption would not be high as it is today in Uganda.
I'm requesting government to implement their slogan, Chisanja Hakuna Mchezo. I'm asking them to implement it by following after people who are stealing our money and pretending to be working and cheating on government and not doing what they are supposed to do.
Believers danced and chanted praises to God as fireworks displays lit up the sky, and Christians waved their written prayer requests in the hope that the ever-present God in the heaven responds to them sooner than later. Joseph Bule, UBC, Nambole.
Meanwhile, head of Gospel Healing Center International, Bishop Patrick Makumbi, has emphasized the role of the family in social, economic, and political development. Makumbi was at their annual overnight prayers to usher in the new year 2018, hosted at the Uganda Clays Playground in Kajansi.
Somewhere in the Holy Bible in Matthew's Gospel, as Jesus went to pray at Gethsemane, he upon return found his disciples asleep. He then asked, "So you were not able to watch with me for just 1 hour?" Fast forward, as Ugandans ushered in 2018, some faithful of Gospel Healing Center International were slept through the sermon by Bishop Patrick Makumbi, whose emphasis was on strength of the family in nation building.
We are going to stretch our hands unto God. We tell him, Lord, as you pass into Uganda, pass into East Africa, through Africa, visit all the families in Uganda. The people will be saved. The people will stop killing each other. The people will stop murdering each other. We are believing God. The families of Uganda shall have God, shall fear God.
Bishop Makumbi and his wife Mariam also preached forgiveness and the fight against evil-minded people, traits that derail personal progress.
We want you to know us more.
Healing Center family mwongere okumanya bishop waffe,
that you will continue to know our bishop.
During the overnight prayers attended by thousands at Lweza Clay's Playground, faithful testified the good works the Lord has enabled them achieve. John Barnes, Centum, reporting.
And Senior Pastor, House of Prayer Ministries, Aloysius Bujingo, calls upon Ugandans to open doors of opportunity and get into a prosperous new year. Pastor Bujingo was delivering his end-of-year sermon at Canaan Land, where over 100,000 born-again Christians and well-wishers filled the 8-acre area to capacity as they bid farewell to 2017 and ushered in 2018.
Fireworks, jubilations and ululations were visible in and around Kawempe Division as thousands of people welcomed the new year, 2018, at Makerech Koni. Security personnel deployed around worshipping areas gave people attending the New Year prayers confidence to carry on with their prayers peacefully. The convener of the Night Vision Festival, Pastor Aloysius Bujingo, prayed for unity, peace, stability, and reconciliation among Ugandans.
From perishing, we have a vision. We are a generation with a vision.
Bujingo calls on Ugandans to work hard for prosperity and build a better country. He wished everybody a prosperous New Year 2018. This is the third time House of Prayer Ministries hosts overnight Vision New Year prayers. I'm Navka Farida and Ganga Henry reporting.
Let's take a short break. We'll return with more details. This is News Tonight. Welcome back. This is still News Tonight. The overseer of evangelical churches, Bishop Zachariah Serwada, has urged Christians to engage in income-generating activities to be able to support their families and the church. Serwada was Sunday evening delivering New Year message during the crossover night at Busoga Square in Jinja district.
That was the situation in Jinja town as both Christians and partiers welcomed the new year 2018. These areas include, among others, Queen's Palace, Main Street Primary School Playground, Bugembe Stadium, and Busoga Square for Evangel Church Ministries. Speaking during the crossover overnight at Busoga Square, Bishop Zachariah Serwada encouraged Christians to mind their health and fight poverty by engaging in income-generating activities. He said Busoga has been a laughingstock, but 2018 should be a landmark for Busoga's development in terms of infrastructure and general business. The crossover was characterized by lots of entertainment, mostly gospel, where hundreds gave their life to Jesus Christ. This story was compiled by Samuel Katandi for UBC News.
Now, Ugandans have an uphill task of increasing individual and household production to improve the country's revenue and economy in 2018. The country, primed for middle-income status by 2020, has suffered decline in economic growth from 6% in 2010 to 4% in 2016, while its poverty levels have increased from 19% in 2014 to 26% in 2016. According to Pastor Stephen Sebiala of Christ Church Chitintale, 2018 is an opportunity for all Ugandans to reverse this trend for the better.
All humans world over get an equal amount of time every year to pursue their goals and aspirations. The rich and poor, weak and strong, all have 365 days divided into 52 weeks or 12 months to make a year. But only a few profit from this new opportunity to garner fresh wealth, better health, and improved contribution to national and global growth. In lieu of this, Pastor Stephen Sebiala urges all Ugandans to take advantage of this fresh start to review past failures and strive for success.
If you didn't make a difference in 2017, make it in 2018. First of all, make a difference in your life, in your home, and in the community where you live, and be a blessing. And the Lord will bless you and prolong your life.
He was ushering in the new year with thousands of Christians at Christ Church, Uganda, in Chitintale, prior to anointing them with oil for success.
We have ushered people into 2018 in this time. People, first of all, buried the old mindset. We first preach to them to renew their mind, to enter a new year with a new mind. And that's my prayer for all of us and all of you. And then after that, we are celebrating all that God has done for us, above all the life God has given us. So we've entered this year celebrating, praising the Lord, and we laid our hands on everybody who entered the year in the church. We anointed them. Anointing means setting them apart for God, consecrating them for the new year.
He scoffed at those that usher in the year under immoral acts like alcohol, sex, and drug abuse, and urged them to turn to God.
You cross into new year according to demonic powers, witchcraft, evil spirits. There's no way God can bless you as you enter a year on that wrong note. If you did that, I encourage you to quickly repent and turn back to God.
Samuel Garandi, UBC News.
Revelers that thronged Fusion Auto Spa in Munyonyo to usher in the new year must have enjoyed to the brim a great fireworks display and music till the wee hours of the morning. Our reporter was there and captured every moment.
"2018 is finally here. Ugandans from all walks of life did whatever was convenient to usher it in real style. Though some could be excused for dancing off tune. But anyway, who cares? After all, dancing is dancing and has no clear definitive opinion on who does it better. At Fusion Auto Spa in Munyonyo, to say it was massive is an understatement because revelers giggled and gyrated to dance away the year of many fasts for Uganda.
Celebrating a new year, it means that God has protected me, and I thank God for the new year.
Actually, currently, since I'm out, I feel happy. I think I would like to spend it out because you have this thinking that once you're in bed and the year finds you in bed, that means the whole year will spend it sleeping.
The fireworks display was magical, and little wonder left some blowing their own trumpet.
We do what others don't do. We perform what others don't perform. I mean, we are different. You have a reason why you are here. Why you're not in other bars, but you are in a vision.
But dancing, gyrating and giggling aside, 2018 may never be any different to anyone if no balance sheet is studied to determine what failed in 2017 that needs amendment. But a New Year excitement isn't a reserve for Kampala urbanite dwellers because Ryder Hotel in Setamukono also witnessed pomp as people dined, unwind, etc. John Barnes, Centum, reporting.
Well, the Minister of State for Primary Education, Rosemary Nansubuga-Seninde, has cautioned parents and guardians against considering taking their learners to schools that have not been approved by Ministry of Education. Seninde says the ministry has already approved guidelines to be followed by schools, and any without a license will not be allowed to open for the first term 2018.
No school in the country will be allowed to open for the new first term 2018 without license by the Ministry of Education. This is the message delivered by the Minister of State for Primary Education, Rosemary Nansubuga-Seninde, to parents, guardians and stakeholders in the education sector across the country during Thanksgiving service of the New Year at St. Stephen's Church of Uganda, Kasangati in Gayaza Archdeaconry, Namirembe Diocese. Minister Seninde emphasized that the ministry has already come up with guidelines to be followed by schools in order to be approved by the ministry. She cautioned parents, guardians and stakeholders in the education sector to obey the rules and regulations of the Ministry of Education.
Allow any school that is not licensed to begin school. So I would like to call upon all those schools that are intending to open in 2018 to ensure that they fulfill the basic requirements and the minimum standards. They must get the license or the provisional license before they begin school.
On the issue of discipline, Seninde told parents to always guide their children in good morals. The in charge of development in Gaya's Archdeaconry, Zephania Chiza Seninde, encouraged the youth to always engage themselves in church projects. And for some reason, he thinks Miss Seninde should consider being a reverend.
Honorable Reverend Dr. Professor. Mubyonna byasomanya alatekemu ekyokusoma obwa reverend kugamba amakaka okumirenga amaki nga malungi nnyo gajja kubanga ganyweza kwe kusaba kwange kwenjagala bwe gyonna gye muba muli obusaba ndiboni bwonna musabire Rosemary afuuke reverend.
Reverend Simon Kabeyogerere of St. Stephen's Church of Uganda, Kasangati, encouraged believers to always remember celebrating their achievements granted to them by God alongside New Year festivities. Amnafka Farida and Salongo Kasbante reporting.
Now, Bavuma Islanders have defied police orders bearing a hero's welcome to their area legislator, Robert Migadenduga. The Islanders credit the Member of Parliament for holding firm during the amendment process of Article 102B of the Constitution, during which, despite being a National Resistance Movement member, Migade voted no.
Kirongo landing site in Busamuzi sub-county has witnessed drama as police attempted to block Buvuma legislator Robert Ndugwa Migade's visit to Buganda Kingdom representative in Majo. Migade was on invite by Patrick Insubuga Kirumbarumba, but police thought it was a move by the public to accord a hero's welcome to the MP, who, despite being NRM, voted against the age limit. The standoff that lasted close to 30 minutes was amicably solved, with police offering escort to Migade, who in fact addressed residents.
People have attempted to welcome me a number of times since we concluded the parliament, and even the last week I was forced to enter Buvuma at night so that when I got the information so that they don't see me. But you see, you cannot block excitement. You should allow it to happen, then it stops.
Buganda Kingdom representative Patrick Kirumbarumba ironically and rather surprisingly turned the MP's visit into a campaign, though Ugandans surely expect none, at least in the interim. MP Migade really benefited from this trip, with locals offering gifts including chicken, goats, heifers and cash, and must be having a grand new year wherever he is. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Pastor Senyonjo Joseph of Restoration Power Church in Nansana has quit the Pentecostal movement in Uganda. This is a statement he made at the headquarters of his ministry in Nansana as part of his New Year 2018 resolution. Pastor Senyonjo, commonly known as Vamubusibe, has been at loggerheads with fellow Pentecostal pastors who he blames of being materialistic and ambassadors of a message of hatred amongst Christians. He has joined a new group known as the Way Abekubo.
In this year 2018, if I focus on what may come next, I see that there is a problem that we need sensitively to think about. I have been looking at the way people are preaching, how preachers and religious leaders are preaching, more so Pentecostal leaders in the local churches, the way they are preaching, the seed that we are planting in the young generation, because I look at so and so, everybody is preaching against another. This problem has gone even up to the followers. You find them at the rentals where they reside. The first one asks his friend, where do you fellowship? When this one answers that he goes to a different church, there they begin war automatically. Meaning that the hatred which is being impacted in them by the preachers is not ending on radios or TVs, but it is going up to the roots of the hearts of people. That's why no wonder I see people killing each other. People are murdering others. People are raping others. All the time, wicked things are happening. No wonder, what would you expect if we are hearing such preachings? This is the reason as to why me, Pastor Senyonyo, came out of the Balokole group. And I'm not ashamed to say this, because I see that we who came in the time of 1990s, if we continue with this act, we are going to destroy this young generation which came in 2000s. This is the reason as to why I came out of the Balokole, because I wanted to change so that I don't move in that mistake.
Born-again churches from Biwempe Revival ushered in 2018 with various prophecies. Professor Simeon Kaiwa of Namirembe Christian Fellowship presaged that 2018 is a year of love, peace and unity, while Bishop David Kiganda of Christianity Focus Ministries prayed for prosperity. Pastor Robert Kayanja of Rubaga Miracle Center Cathedral, on his part, believes 2018 is a year of for Ugandans to thrive in all aspects of their lives. This was during celebrations to bid farewell to 2017 and welcome 2018.
The departure of the year 2017 at Pentecostal churches in Central and Rubaga Division was characterized by prophecy, prayer, praise and worship. The arrival of 2018 was witnessed in style by thousands of believers at Namirembe Christian Fellowship. At exactly midnight, Professor Simeon Kaiwa prophesied that 2018 is a year for the church to expand and increase godly love between young and adult.
Strong Uganda for tomorrow. In 2018 should be like that. Like I said, you get hold of the file, the old file and the new file, you join them together and you create a third file. That's called concatenation. Ideas from the young and the new brought together, and from out of them creating a major file that's going to run the future for us.
Professor Simeon Kaiwa, the father of Biwempe Revival in Uganda, says acts of witchcraft, sorcery, human sacrifice, and other related powers of Satan will be overpowered by the supernatural. The head of Christianity Focus Ministries, Bishop David Kiganda, while at the 12th Annual National Day and Night at Old Kampala Playground, prayed for unity, socio-economic transformation, good politics, and improved health sector, among others.
I'm not saying it's their fault, but something need to be done. We need to pray. We need to pray for our economy. We need to pray. A lot of our younger men and our younger children from the universities, they are jobless.
During the same night, Pastor Robert Kayanja of Miracle Center Cathedral said 2018 is a mega blessing for Ugandans. Kayanja ushered in the new year with songs to praise the Holy Spirit for the work done during the 77 days of glory crusade.
At the cross of Jesus Christ, I will find my way to my destiny.
Biwempe Revival was initiated in Uganda in the early 2000s by Professor Simeon Kaiwa at Namirembe Christian Fellowship. It later on became popular and spread to all churches countrywide. Abraham Boita, UBC News.
Thank you for sticking with us here on News Tonight. In Business News, State Minister for Northern Uganda, Honorable Grace Trinchwinyi, has applauded the presidential pledge of implementing a tea project which was promised to the Lure King as an economic activity for poverty alleviation in the kingdom. Trinchwinyi was speaking at the consultative meeting with tea project stakeholders, district officials and farmers at Abang village in Zombo district. Let's take a look.
After over 5 years of inconsistency and lack of direction by farmers, a Lure Kingdom Tea project, which was a presidential pledge, has finally kicked off in Abang village, Akasab County in Zombo district. This has been done through consultative meetings with the farmers and other stakeholders, pioneered by the Minister of State for Northern Uganda, Honorable Grace Trinchwinyi. At Zombo district headquarters, Ms. Trinchwinyi held cross-door meeting with Zombo District Chief Administration Officer, our Lure Kingdom officials and NUSAF team, with whom she discussed a number of issues regarding sensitizing the farmers and monitoring and evaluation of the project.
Brought in NUSAF, which is a program for supporting community initiatives and looking at the labor-intensive and the extensive work involved in tea. We have appropriately thought that the NUSAF funding can mobilize and strengthen communities.
At Abanga village, Trinchwinyi advised the community to allocate and demarcate land for tea production and crops to support their daily income.
The tea commodity has come as an income generation. It is not food, immediate food you can eat. The community should continue with their growing of food crops, the beans, the Irish, the bananas, the cassava, which they depend on.
On behalf of the kingdom, the Lure Kingdom Prime Minister Ocha Vincent said they had allocated 3,500 acres of land for the project.
The king, in his strong messages to the people, always emphasizes on people to embrace long-term agriculture, people to move away from subsistence farming. That's why, in an area of about 4,000 acres, he has devoted to give it towards the development of tea.
The Ola County Member of Parliament, Lore Songa, thanked the government for its positive consideration in implementing the presidential pledge of looking at alleviating poverty.
He can uplift people from poverty. We have seen it in other parts of Uganda, in other countries. People are making a lot of money, creating jobs for their people. Now that we have this land, we need to mobilize our people so that they can embrace commercial cultivation of tea in this place.
500 acres have been earmarked for the pilot tea project, where each 15-member group will benefit from 18 million shillings NUSAF fund allocated to over 400 farmers. Agromax will support the irrigation scheme by utilizing the available streams in the district, and government will also provide a tractor for plowing at a no cost. Mutesa Sira Haruna reporting for UBC News.
And that does it. Thank you for watching News Tonight. Wycliffe Kenya is our sign language interpreter. I'm Rhoda Ngonzi. Have a great year.